Someone is experiencing a come down, okay? And this is that crucial time. It's like that turning point. Either you keep taking the hit after hit that keeps you on that high, but you can keep ending up needing more and more and more to stay on that high, right? Because your biology, physiology, your everything that's happening within you gets so accustomed to that level that you need more, right? Or this is a crucial point where someone's going to step back and check themselves and recognize what is the emotion that's coming through with this come down and actually address it. Okay, so actually I'm going to get these first. Who is this message for and what is this message? Someone's experiencing a come down. Okay. The Lovers. I'm getting the energy, you know, when you have almost like a hangover, you know. Oh my God, the Empress. This is beautiful. Really beautiful energies. But I actually feel like this is somebody who has connected to this divine feminine energy, and they're seeing specific message. They're seeing someone in their glow, in their light. Wow. Who's this message from? What is this message? I'm hearing something about no more taking the poison into the system, you know, and that could look like many different things. You know, the ways people respond because society has conditioned them to, you know, little things that seem like they're just normal to do and actually are unhealthy for you specifically on your journey. Something feels like it's very, someone's feeling very compassionate at the minute. I will say this. There's this beautiful energy in the heart where there's a lot of emotion, you know, a lot of emotion. This is about learning how to handle that emotion now differently. Virgo as well, the Hermit. So a lot of Mercury energy is coming through. Mercury retrograde could be important for this as well, some progress. But there's definitely something here about someone's going internally within right now to find out how to find a more of a balanced approach in how they're handling their emotions. More intuition, the moon. Wow. The full moon energies could be impacting somebody. You've got the High Priestess and the Empress. That's major divine feminine energies. Truly. It's beautiful. Your intuition, your love, your pleasure, your beauty, your charm, inner knowing. You know, it's like you're tapped in. Whoever specifically this divine feminine is tapped in. I just keep hearing the message though that it's like you're triggering somebody else, maybe the person you're connected to really have to handle their emotions right now, because the way you're progressing, you know, and if you're on the divine journey, is your divine feminine, you're emotionally and energetically leading. So maybe that is what's trying to come through as well. But so far it's just you on the table. Okay, Taurus energy's got the Hierophant here. So really, you know, that is high level as well. Truly, high level core value system, high level commitments, you know, finding out what your true alignment is, not just what you've been told externally, you know, the traditions, the conforming, none of that. It feels like someone here is a bit of a leader, actually. Okay, kind of like you set the kind of scene, you know, for those who come after you. Something about silence is important here, something that has been in silence. Got a new beginning here though. Rapid growth, fresh, fertile beginnings, keep on going. So this is an energy, it could be fixed signs as well, an energy where you've had to learn how to, regardless of every block that's come your way, so almost like you've beautifully alchemized it. And that's why you're standing in this beautiful divine feminine energy now, you know, that you've got that inner alignment. That's where the Lovers is the very first card. That love, that openness that keeps coming through to you. Your heart space is expanding, and it's being done in such a way where there's so much beauty to it, you know. There's been pain in the past, but that's what you've alchemized. This is why I think you're becoming more of a leader in your own right, actually, because you just keep on going, you know. And like I've said this before, sometimes people can say, oh, being resilient is such a positive thing, but actually it comes from having to go through some really hard stuff, oftentimes from when you're a very young child, right? So it's not always so beautiful, but there's something really here about you alchemizing it in such a way that you're becoming more purpose-driven. You're more focused on the forwards vision now, you know. That's where that new beginning is coming for you. There's alignment here in your partnerships moving forwards, okay? I honestly feel like this come down energy is someone you're connected to. I really do. It's almost like you have been a harsh reality check for somebody. Okay, you've got the Prince of Fire. That's autumn time as well. Sagittarius season could be autumn, but something about 14 to 30 days. Let's find out. Okay. What else do you need to be aware of here? I feel like it's going to be this more, you're picking yourself up energy. So you're embodying that newness that's coming through, that fertile energy that the Empress has, so you can create something more beautiful. And I think that's going to be unfolding sooner than maybe you realize, or maybe you do know this. But Leo energies as well here. Leo, so you've got the Sun. Okay, there's vitality, there's creativity, there's success, and yet again, there's purpose. You focus on your purpose, and that's why it's coming through as it's unraveling over the next 14 to 30 days, and then over the months progressing. That's why the energy is coming through, keep on going. This Tower keeps showing up at the bottom of the deck, I wonder if it'll come out, but there's definitely something changing. That's why your person keeps coming through. It's like they're not on the table, but they just keep coming through. The twin flame, you really are leading energetically and emotionally. It's massively impacting your person, your divine masculine, whether you realize this or not. You really are, and that's come out with that card where I was like, that emotional card where someone's really being given some kind of reality check about the emotional landscape, and they're feeling so much more compassion. They're learning how to handle this, though. It's helping them to understand. Well, actually, I don't think they consciously realize this, but this will actually help the connection coming into union, because they'll understand how to handle that emotion. Whereas once upon a time, maybe they didn't. Maybe they were running away from it, or like I say, that come down energy, next high, the next high, the next high, so they don't have to handle that. Wow, it could be a Leo. Ooh. 2 cards. Okay, so things have been stuck, but this is where things are changing. There's a rebirth, there's a huge transformation taking place, and this is where there's silence because there's this need to have, there was a need to have to go within. Okay, because there would have been too much external relying on each other, is what I'm seeing. So things are stuck and it feels stuck, but this is what's allowing the changes to take place, the absolute rebirth. I'm seeing your inner DNA strands transmuting, Someone could have some really beautiful hair. Look, Leo again at the bottom of the next strength card, okay? Mercury was coming through big before, so that's confirmation. And this is about communication. Something's being in creation mode, and that's a big theme for this. Something is truly in creation mode right now. And it's going to probably, like I said before, it's going to manifest quicker than you realise probably. There's that card again. It just keeps showing up. Didn't come out on the table. Some kind of just sudden change, and I don't think... Okay, so this is about within 7 to 14 days, another Leo card as well. So there's definitely something progressing, and I think it's maybe some kind of communication coming through, but there's definitely an energy here where something that was in the mind is coming into the physical to unstick something, and it might be very unexpected. So let's get some tarot to get some confirmation here. Whatever this is, it feels like when it begins, it's not something that's going to go backwards or stop. This is about something that's going to keep progressing now, moving forwards. That's important to remember. That's why this time period thing keeps coming through. Yes, it begins, but if someone's thinking, oh, is it going to get stuck again and go backwards? No, this is about forward progress now. This is true change. Okay, let's get some cards. So I'm going to get some cards. I think I'm going to do Divine Feminine first. Oh, 10 of Cups. Okay, Divine Feminine. Cards for the Divine Feminine here. Okay, this is where you've had to learn how to pay attention to the warning signs. Learn how to recognize where your energy is worth investing versus where actually it's not, and this is why you're glowing in your Empress glow. You're going to be, okay, this is where you're learning how to trust your intuition now, right? I think that maybe there was a lack of direction, but it's because something was taking time. And that's all it is. Something was just taking time. That doesn't mean it's not progressing and coming forwards. It's taking time. But I think that there was this need, there was this attachment to the outcome. And that's what, the Lovers again at the bottom of the deck. You're definitely following your heart. You've got the Knight of Cups, the 10 of Cups, and the beautiful Lovers here. My gosh. So Divine Feminine, whatever it is that your heart truly desires, this absolute 10 of Cups, happily ever after energy, your true emotional fulfillment. It says storybook ending there, right? So maybe you resonate with that. But the point is, you following your heart now has become so much more clearer. You're way more able to, I suppose, lock in on that energies, because now you understand all of this kind of the obstacles that were in the way, the lacking direction, you needing to learn what the warning signs were within you as well as outside of you, right? It's helped you to really discern. Your discernment has become very much more on point, whoever this specific collective is, okay? That's why the high priestess was coming through, you know, and you're more zoned in on that, and you've got the lovers again, so you really are finding alignment here, okay? And it's your inner union that's truly calling in, and that's how it works, right? But it's not done in your timing, it's not done in human timing, it's divine timing. You know, when you're in your divine feminine energy, whoever you are, you've really begin to understand that and you trust that, right? Oh my gosh, you got the Empress, literally. Once again, this is glowing, but then you've also got the King of Wands here. You could very well be a leader, or this could be the person you're connected to. We did get that energy, that Leo energy come through before, so it could be a fire sign, but with you coming through here, you're really recognizing the difference between someone who is ego-led versus someone who is a leader you can trust. Someone who is devoted from their heart space, you know, they're devoted to their path of divine purpose, you know, or even if they're just discovering that, you know. And I think that's the beauty of you recognizing your worth, because that's what you're attracting now. That's what you're moving towards, not these red flags anymore. That's what that card says, you know, not these warning signs. And if you see those, you pull your energy back. You're the leader of your life now. That's what this feels like. This is natural born leader, you know, divine feminine energy, lots of fertile energy coming through for this particular message, whoever this is, okay? Let's see what else. This is for the divine feminine. This, yeah, you've had unhealthy attachments around you. You've had to really have some serious awakenings through these. And this is where you've really learned, where, when I was talking about the investing your energy, this has been it. The unhealthy attachments. And that maybe that was your person as well. You had to learn how to detach from them. You know, no longer unhealthy attached to maybe an outcome, or maybe them coming through with communication, whatever it is. You've had to really release yourself from that. Even though communication on the cards here, which suggests that because you're releasing it, it's what's allowing you to create the energetic room to handle it coming through, you know. Because divine would not allow that if you're going to repeat the self-betrayal cycle, if you will, you know. Choosing your battles wisely. You're understanding what is yours and what isn't. Because you're in your divine feminine energy now, you know. You magnetize a lot in your divine feminine energy. So this is why your discernment has to be on point. And that's where you learn to trust your intuition. It's not your fears or your desires. It's truly that inner deeper knowing, that alignment. Okay. So wherever you have had obstacles in the past, you've really overcoming these beautifully. You're no longer holding on to the grief and the sadness and the loss and the pain of it, you know. This is what's allowing this, oh my God, the final chapter, it says here, this particular card, the Ten of Swords, so it's been dark. You might very well just be coming out of this, you know, that lacking direction. Because of all the swords that you experience, you know, that grief, that pain. This is your moment to decide to move forward, and this is where you're getting much more clearer on that forward movement, okay? And yeah, you have had to be patient here, but it's because it's been such an internal process as well. And there is something here, and I don't know if this is divine feminine right now, but maybe it is connected to divine masculine, but there's something here about being really attached to money, okay? Money and excess. And maybe it's because you didn't have that growing up, you know, I'm seeing this, you didn't have that growing up, so it's something that you really wanted. Maybe it's a generation thing you had to clear through, that abundance blocks, right? And this is why it's kind of been difficult for you to really grow your abundance, you know. And I'm getting this energy of, you know, that if you're truly on that twin flame journey, that's something that you're going to need to find balance in. Literally, Two of Coins, balance. Okay, let's get some clarity. That's where you've learned some surrender as well to the divine unfold of things, because actually that comes with you understanding your 10 of Coins. No way. So you got abundance coming in, that's for sure, and you're going to know how to handle it this time. I think if it came in before, you might not have known how to handle it. Divine timing is a huge lesson for you. That's why patience has been such a big deal. And actually with this, it feels like it's gone. Something came through and it's gone. Well, there you go. And I think maybe there was a lack of a stable masculine energy in your life. You know, that stability, not just abundance money-wise, no, but actual stability, trusting foundation. Maybe you didn't have that, but this is why you want it so much, right? You've had to learn to release the unhealthy attachment to that and actually allow the divine unfold of it, the surrender to it. Understand you're worthy of that. You don't need to attach to it. You don't need to try and find it in these warning signs around you, the red flags in other people, you know. You've been finding it within yourself. 9 of Coins. You've been learning your worth, and you've been building on yourself. That means maybe there's something that you do, your purpose path as well, that you're finding a new stream of income in, maybe is what I'm hearing. Success, new stream of success, something like this. Okay, but more than anything, it's helping you. Yeah, oh my God, the Queen of Coins, literally. So you don't need to worry about the money thing, according to whoever this specific collective is. You're following your heart is what's bringing you your abundance. And truly, it's a mindset. You've had to go through a mindset shift here. You know, that's massive. So you could be a earth sign energies. You've got King and Queen of Coins here now as well, actually. So earth. Wow. Yeah, so it's you following your heart that's really allowing you to learn how to nurture the abundance within, which is what's helping to create it outside of you. You might not be able to see it right now. That's why it says, when things take time, release the attachment to the external, including excess. Okay. Yeah, some things are beyond your control. There's so much to do with surrender here. You've had to really learn how to release. I think there's something about codependency here as well. Okay. I'm going to get just another few to see what else. Divine Feminine needs to be aware of. Oh, okay. The Moon here. Okay, so there's strength as well. This is interesting. So this is where I think you might find some kind of... It does say time to celebrate here. Okay, but you have to be mindful of when your guards come up. Okay, because don't forget, Divine Feminine, you have that emotional balance. That's where your 50-50 energy is coming in. So you're going to need to really, you know, if some kind of communication does come through, if something comes through for you, recognize where suddenly you're becoming way more, not just like in the castle on your throne and everyone else is there. You know, it's like there's balance here. There's still equal reciprocity. You know, so that strength that's going to allow you to create the right environments and the right connections around you now, no longer the unhealthy ways, the hyper independence and needing to protect yourself, and that's why you're keeping yourself over here on the throne. You know what I mean? When actually you have a community that wants to come through the right connections, learning how to trust that. Okay, Divine Feminine. Oh my gosh, literally Ace of Cups, new beginning, heart space, overflowing love, because you're filling your cup now. 4 of Wands, it says celebrating union on that card as well, okay. Okay, but it does say be mindful here. This is where this is where you might end up finding an imbalance where you lose your motivation to move forward because suddenly the mind space takes over, you know. Maybe the emotion becomes overwhelming because there is a lot of emotion here. And like I said, that other card was coming through before, you know, that 9 of Coins. So remember to keep on top of knowing your worth. Knowing your worth, but also recognizing just because some people are out of your alignment doesn't mean that you're off your divine alignment. It just means that, okay, you redirect and you stay focused on your path, you know, because don't forget, this is a big deal about you finding inner union right now. You really are going to find the right people around you, but like I said, as you magnetize the people who aren't for you as well, which is the way it works. That's why your discernment is so important. Don't let that bring all the guards and walls up that you've done so beautifully to heal through and understand things differently. Everyone's on their own paths, on their own journeys, living their own realities, right? So I'm just going to quickly do an animal card for this beautiful Divine Feminine energy. Divine Feminine. My gosh, the Phoenix. You really have transformed. Maybe you're currently going through this, so, you know, but number 24, death and rebirth, immortal. This is giving that Scorpio energy as well, you know, from the Scorpion, the vengeful Scorpion, to the eagle who's seeing things from all perspectives and a higher level, you know, that high priestess, to the Phoenix, you know, rising through those ashes. Your fires of transformation, the immortal catalytic heart awakening, total transformation, complete renewal. And that's why that Lovers keeps coming through with that Ace of Cups at the bottom there. My gosh, you really are finding that inner alignment and you're finding it from a really heart-centered space. Beautiful Divine Feminine energy. So I'm going to do the Divine Masculine cards now. And, you know, with this Divine Feminine, it's celebrating is on here a few times. So it's definitely a celebration coming. And it's all because you've been pouring into yourself. You've been really understanding that, you know. It's beautiful. And you're no longer led by the egoic masks of others. You know, what you might call red flags, right? You're understanding that, you're recognizing that. You're seeing your worth, Queen of Wands. Okay, Divine Masculine. That seems to be part of this. Energy just keeps coming through, right? Divine Masculine. Definitely been going on some kind of solo journey, the Hermit here. they've had to really this emotional energy keeps coming through. So I think that because if you're truly on this journey, you really are connected in that way as well. So you clearly are both going through some kind of energetic purging and cleansing. Like I said, this is preparing you both to be able to equally give and receive when it comes to the union, divine union, remember? You know, on that emotional capacity, which is maybe something that you triggered in each other before, the lack of ability to do that, right? So you've got the wheel. This came out for the divine feminine in reverse, beyond your control. So really, there's been a lot of divine orchestration in your both of your journeys, you know. Okay, divine masculine. Passionate start, Ace of Wands. A lot of passion in where they want to move towards, that's for sure, right? They might have a lot of passion within them as well. They might be very, just, you know, that sacral energy is very strong, you know. This is where things might have led to, you know, that energy that was coming through before, that hit after hit after hit, the high. Look at that 4 of Wands. So I think that's something they've had to learn how to, I've heard control the impulse, the urge or something. So that's important. That really is a big deal. King of Coins, ultimate provider, came through for the divine feminine as well, actually. So to be this stable, trusted, dependable person, they've had to understand what integrity means, operating in integrity, in honor, you know, not be led by impulse, creating strings attached or whatever. Okay, I think you both have to heal through that, actually, you know. Yeah, they've been learning so much and they crave more. And I think they're craving more from their divine feminine. They want to know more. What are you doing? What's happening? Talk to me. You know, that kind of energy. They really want to move forward. We've got 2 pages here. A page of, it's about emotional offers as well. And then you've got this communication offer as well. So they're definitely desiring some kind of newness here. They also got the 10 of Swords. So you're both really closing out a chapter right now. Something that was dark. And I actually just heard that maybe it was this period of where things were stuck in your connection. Okay, so on an energetic level, now that's being released, it's allowing the closure to take place, which in turn will create the space needed for a new beginning, right? So, okay, divine masculine. Okay, they need to be mindful. This is the thing that with them, they need to also be mindful, funnily enough, in a different way, of not repeating the same pattern that was coming through for you, divine feminine. They need to not let their pride get in the way. Pride, maybe they need validation. Maybe they wear this mask or something that they're still healing through. Let's see what else. I think they've been through a period of really, I'm going to use the term that's coming through. Clearly, this is how they see it, failures. You know, things that haven't gone the way they've needed. And it's been again and again and again. Oh, look at this Queen of Cups. Beautiful. So they are really connecting to that creative landscape within them, you know. Their emotions are really allowing them to fuel. So this is where I talk about with divine masculine energies specifically as well. They need to learn how to harness that sacral energy up to their heart space and not let it be stuck, which is what can happen with divine masculine. They're really healing through that and clearing through to connect to their divine masculine energy. So that it's coming from their heart space now, not just like this impulse that's 3D led. Okay, I think this is where they're going from that emotional anguish to emotional balance, centeredness, alignment. That's beautiful. They're both really going on a beautiful journey when it comes to the emotional landscape. Oh my God, the Lovers, bottom of the deck. Ah. Yeah, they got the same card, Chariot in reverse. Whoa, they've got it with the Tower as well, actually. I think that they've had the Lovers. They've had some serious realization. I think that whatever happened in the past, there was something blocking it that wasn't clear to you, that they had to deal with, and it left them feeling completely distraught. They couldn't deal with whatever this connection was at the time because there was way too much going on. There were way too many obstacles in their own life. And this is where they were learning emotional lessons, whether they realized it or not, to be prepared to deal with this connection. Okay, divine masculine. Oh my God, they got the Strength card as well. And that's come up with the Hermit, Leo and Virgo energies as well. Time of year could be important. They have been learning massive inner strength. Okay, that's what it takes to truly be on this journey, to be devoted to your heart-centered approach, to be devoted to your divine path of purpose. Right? Yeah, finally, walking away. They know what, you know, divine masculine needs to learn how to, the energy within you, whoever you are, that yang energy can sometimes be excessively controlling. This is what they've had to learn to release. There's some things that they're just not going to go in the way they want, and they have to allow that surrender, right? But also there's some things that really just aren't on their path. That's just not on their path, and they've had to learn that. I've heard the hard way, so they've had some lessons. I think they've had to repeat some lessons actually before they finally got to this stage where they understand they need to walk away. This is just not serving them. This again has strengthened that inner strength. Okay. This is where there needs to be a change. So that passionate start. I said they've got a lot of passionate desire. They might lead with maybe sexual energy. That's where there needs to be a change. And this literally says you need to step it up. That's not divine masculine energy. Remember I said channel from your heart space. Equal give and receive with the 6 of coins here. Right? So this is about external change with the death card. So there's external transformation, because they know that actually they need to answer the call and not just repeat that impulse-led, sexual energy-led new beginning. Needs to be done differently from the heart this time. This is why this entire energy is coming through, because that's what they're going through right now. An emotional ascension upgrade. Okay. Wow. Divine masculine. Oh my God. Literally with this thirst for knowledge, they've got a lack of ideas. So this is why they want to know. They want to know, how can I approach, how can I move forward? And this is maybe in various areas of their life, but there's something that they need to speak on. There's a truth that needs to be revealed, and this is probably why they're finding it difficult to understand. That's why their default is that sexual energy, that impulse led, but that's where they need to change. But that's what they used to. So now they're thinking, but how do I move forward? How do I do this? I think this is where they might be learning. Maybe they're behind the scenes watching what's the best approach, Okay. Okay. So they are very, when they move, they want to go. This is really about, this is better though. This is about doing things together, coming together in harmony and collaborating with each other. I feel like there's going to be a lot of conversations, but there's going to be this need to be really mindful that you're not just rushing before you think about the consequences. You're not just rushing and not being able to hold it down on the other end, So it's kind of like, don't just promise something and then, not hold it down and fulfill that promise, for example. And don't just open up communication if you're not going to continue to allow yourself to be consistent in that, And like I said, when this new beginning comes, it's not going to just stop and go backwards, remember. So this is something they're learning now. They're learning how to come together and collaborate healthily, communicate healthily together. Okay? Divine masculine. And actually with this pride, they've had this pride before fall energy, personality clashes. So, I think they've had to learn through a lot of people around them, people that maybe were in their inner circles is what I'm hearing, conflict. There's been conflict. I think that there's somebody who might be quite jealous as well. Okay. And this might have impacted your connection actually. Maybe you didn't realize it, but there was a misalignment here. Someone was very much in their ego. And this has stopped them from finding success in various parts of their life, actually. Whoever this energy is. Oh my God, literally, the King of Wands. Okay, the Empress. Oh my God, these two came through. The Divine Feminine. I think this is you two then. Because that's what I felt like before. So, King of Wands is that masculine energy, natural born leader, but again, a lot of passion, right? But with this Divine Feminine energy and that card, this is something that Divine Feminine will not allow again. This is the Divine Feminine who is recognizing those warning signs. Remember, recognizes when someone's being ego-led, whether they realize it or not. If it's just going to be the same thing being repeated again and again, another 3 of Swords, emotional heartbreak and pain or whatever, this is just not going to work. I'm also getting the message that this is a Divine Masculine energy who has had opportunity after opportunity to move forward toward this Empress, Divine Feminine, but this is where the pride has gotten in the way. That's why they're not coming out as the Emperor. The Empress keeps coming through, and yes, they are working on the inner Divine Feminine energy right now. They are healing through that, which is coming through clear. But this is where they feel like they're lacking that information, that knowledge. They don't trust themselves to move forwards. No, they haven't so far. Okay, Divine Masculine. I think that there's something about they want to impress this Divine Feminine. They want to impress this Divine Feminine, who again, she's come out as the Queen of Coins, and you've got the 9. Hold on. So, this is the same card as well for the Divine Feminine. Literally, you are enough. They need to know they're enough. They're emotional. I think that they might have had mother wounds they've already had to heal through here. Truly. This could be a two-way thing as well, but specifically for them, they've allowed themselves to go over the same thing again and again, which is every voice in their head that hasn't validated their emotions from a very young age. Truly. They didn't have this beautiful, nurturing, stable, you know, almost like just giving energy, but also someone who has healthy boundaries, this feminine energy. They didn't have this. They've not known how to handle this. But then you've got the King of Cups there, who's all about that emotional mastery, being emotionally balanced, you know, taking the action required along with that. Wow, so they really are working on their worth right now. I'm going to get an animal card for the Divine Masculine. I think Divine Feminine, though, the more you're glowing up and staying in your alignment and your truth, you're actually, I'm going to say what's come through, you're inspiring them. I don't know if they realise that's what's happening, but energetically, emotionally, there's shifts taking place for them right now. Okay? Yeah, there could be an entrepreneur, which makes sense with that King of Wands. That is a very, you know, that leader, the entrepreneur energy, okay? Raccoon, number 15, problem solver, curious. Just keeps coming through. This is someone who's curious. They want to know more here. They really do. And maybe it's a connection that they're learning more about as well, if that twin flame energy that's coming through. Asking questions, adaptable, creative. There's a lot of creative energy coming through for this masculine, divine masculine here. They're being resourceful, but I also think there's something maybe a little bit sneaky about that. I'm going to get another one, actually. Divine masculine, another animal card. Divine masculine. Okay. The crow, number 21. They're remembering a lot. They're very magical, and I don't think that the Phoenix at the bottom, this is something that they didn't allow themselves to truly tap into until now. That's where they've been blocking the divine feminine energy that they're finally now opening and healing and clearing through. There's a new event coming for them. Interesting. Again, they really are a problem solver is what's coming through. You can get an animal card for your connection, okay? Animal card for your connection. Oh my God, metamorphosing the butterfly. Look what's come through. Another confirmation of a twin flame journey. So you must really resonate with that, whoever this is, number 6. Or high level soulmates, there's faith, there's a pair of things. You gave each other faith. That's what happened that's why I think, there might have been some really unanswered questions here. Blooming love. And it's been happening on a spiritual level for sure. The one, you're seeing each other as the one. Deep soul connection. And you would have had that. You would have seen that and experienced that with each other to really activate into this now. Twin flame, a pair of things. 2 peas in a pod. With so many similar cards coming up, and with these 2 twin flame cards coming through as well, I think that you're way more aligned than you realise. And I'm talking about on an energetic and emotional level. I think physically you won't see this because things feel like they're stuck. Okay? But it's going through a metamorphosis right now. Truly, your connection is. So, and it says embrace the change. It's the evolution of the soul that's taking place. You're both reinventing yourselves. And Empress, the Empress that keeps coming through, Divine Feminine, you are sitting in that energy more than you realise. So stay on that. Stay in that alignment. Call that power back to you, okay? The connection. I'm going to get some confirmation cards for your connection as well. Yeah, there was something in the past then. There was some kind of argument, that clashes that was coming through. It left this volatile energy around, you know. Okay, but it gave you both direction. It gave you much more clearer direction of where you want to go moving forwards. So clearly, there was some serious blocks and triggers that were within you that you've highlighted to each other, that you brought to the surface, that then allowed you to go back to your own journey and focus. Hold on, where am I focusing? What do I need to redirect? You know, you were allowed to recognize those triggers and heal through them, okay? Gosh, this will make sense to those who are truly on this journey. Otherwise, you'll be like, what's going on? What's that? Yeah, bottled up emotions. You've had to take a lot of reflection time, a lot of you time, you know. Maybe the community around you just changed as well. You got new rituals, you know, a lot more self-care coming through. Focused on the divinely aligned connections now. 21, 1 and 35. Whoa, look at that, head of the pack. 15, successful. Competition, I did say something about that competitive energy, right? Drive, get it done, lead, persistence, will to win, motivated. It says alpha male, could be either or. Finishing first, dominate. Wow, this is a powerful connection, you know, if it were, you know, on target. This is where you're lacking that communication then. Okay, so you could be seen by others. Something about community, 20 and 8. Public venues, maybe you met like this. you know, society, crowds, audience, party, meeting, event, a date, playing the field, outdoors. Could have been that kind of environment, you know. I'm seeing like, you know, those dating events or even apps or something. Okay, so there could be something moving forward. There was that event that was coming through, event that's coming in that's going to impact this connection somehow into more progress. Okay. All right. Yes. Look at that. Feminine energy. 29. Uprooting from the past. Radical break. Deep changes. Displaced makeovers. Separation, it says as well. So there's been a forced change. You didn't want this, but without you realizing, it was an opportunity for you to finally move away from this energy. The illness, fatigue, the stress, the anxiety, the waste, the fear, all these things of reduction. 23 and 7. Okay, let's get a couple more for your connection. So you're clearing through this tornado energy now. Okay, and I think this is the fear that this might come through again, but actually look at that. That's your true north. You're not who you were before. Neither of you. White feather. You're getting the divine signs right now. Pay attention and trust your connection to divine. Okay, number 8. So there was a breakdown, a total wreck. It felt like completely unexpected ending. Okay, but it's actually redirected you. Once again, big message for this collective. Redirected you onto your true path. 22. True north, discovery, life path, seeking the truth. Direction, finding your way. And that divine masculine energy really is something about seeking truth, the knowledge, the answers, which is interesting because I feel like maybe divine feminine was like that before, but things have changed clearly. Now where you're going much more now, making a plan and exploring. I think the connection itself can reach that point once you pay attention. And this is a card of reconciliation and forgiveness as well. So, okay, connection, cards for your connection. Yeah, there's definitely a separation right now. Cards for your connection. Okay, but it's allowing you the time, the opportunity, the space to clear through these karmic cycles. Okay, some things that, again, it's out of your hands. That's just a permanent message. Some things truly are just, it's divine orchestration. Divine is working through you both. Number 2, fate, force of the universe, getting what you deserve, destiny, synchronicity, karma and cycles. And that's what's allowing you finally to say yes to your path. My God, not be led by community and external. Number 8, journey. 8s are important here. And 2s. Walking away again, right? It literally says that again before we had it. So there's walking away so you can pursue your own path now. There's freedom in that. There's independence. You're exiting the past where you were dependent on maybe external parties or others' opinions. You're exploring your journey now. You're taking the steps required as a result of this connection, awakening you into that energy. So I think if this separation had ever happened, there would have been a lot more unhealthy attachment and just turmoil in that energy, okay? Desire is present though, I will say. Look at this. The stork and the wine. Renewal. Aging like fine wine. This is beautiful. Developing over time. Number 17. Transformation, change, active, renew. Might be restless to move in this direction. I think divine masculine is arrive, depart, move, renovate. Pregnancy, birth, surrender, Taurus. Fertile energy is big here, okay? It's been developing over time. You haven't even realised it because you've been transforming. There's an alchemy taking place here, whether you realise it or not. Divine is on this. Okay. Number 11. This is that emotional healing that's taking place. Glass heart. Vulnerability. Apologise. Delicate, clear, sensitive, openness. Handle carefully. Transparency. Connection. Forgiveness. Taking a risk. Might feel like it's taking a risk, but believe it or not, I think you both want to do the whole forgiveness thing. Move away from this past so that you can really create a new forward picture. Okay, I'm going to get some tarot actually for your connection as well. There's definitely something big about forgiveness, which tells me there is something that needs to be spoken on. Maybe it was the way somebody walked away. Okay, and it's definitely something that needs to be handled as though it is literal glass heart. It's also something about being open and honest. So there's going to need to be transparency here about your feelings, the emotions, what's been happening. Because if you want a renewal, you can't be stuck in the past timeline of this. You're going to need to clear through that, and that's done together. In that collaboration energy that was coming through before. Like I said, you're both emotionally being prepared to emotionally handle the capacity of this connection. So you can level up with it, you know, can reach any level. Okay, cards for your connection from tarot, moving forwards. Cards for your connection, moving forwards. Okay, so you've got the Fool. Beautiful. Then you've got the 10 of Cups and the Moon. And then this, okay. So be mindful. So this beautiful opportunity for this new beginning. It's going to take a leap of faith. Like I said, there's that energy of taking a risk to reconnect, right? Be clear on what this happy emotional fulfillment that you want to move towards looks like, this new cycle that's really going to allow you to put that emotional intelligence now that you've been gaining into practice, really zone in on that, ground it down. But it's your subconscious minds, your subconscious drivers that you're going to need to be mindful of as you do this. So what's happening in the background, and be transparent about it. It's going to be important. And if you find each other, either of you finds there's triggers that you're experiencing from the other, again, you're going to need to be transparent and honest about this. Otherwise, that'll be yet another cycle of separation. You don't want that, right? So it's kind of like understanding that you need to create that safe space for both of you, for both of your journeys that are unraveling alongside each other. Okay, yeah, this is it. There's clarity coming through that clearly is desired here. It could be a conversation, but there's definitely something in the mind that's opening up. And it could be that you're delving into your subconscious more. Nine of Cups. Something here about having your, filling your cups up by yourself now. And now that one more cup, that 10 of Cups, that's this reconnection that wants to come through, this alignment. I think that you're understanding things that maybe you thought, oh no, this is just going to be more trouble ahead. There's going to be disharmony again. It's not more moving to calmer waters, just repeating the same thing again and again. It's not that. You're understanding that actually that's not what it is. That's just your subconscious mind telling yourself the same thing. You haven't even had clarity with each other. You haven't had that clarity conversation that I talked about, okay? Okay, someone's been lacking confidence here. Massively. Maybe you both were, but there's definitely... Again, there's a magician that's come out twice. So you have the tools in front of you to create this now. But it's about being resourceful with that. And the divine masculine energy came out with that raccoon, being resourceful to be able to lead this in the physical, in the 3D. As divine feminine, you ensure that you're creating that energetic space. You stay on top of that, right? Okay. Okay, the Lovers here. Union. But, again, be mindful. Personality clashes, where there's still... I think that, again, this is something you're telling yourself, but also be really transparent, about the fact that actually, where is that alignment? Where are we not aligned? How can we be honest about this? How can we be intentional about moving forwards with this? Because clearly, I think there's jealousy here as well. Someone needs to be clear through that. Okay, but it is being clear through. You've got this beautiful 6 of Wands. Congratulations. Why? Because you've been given that space and time, 333, with each other, to do your hermit journey, to go within, to find that light within, which is what's helping you understand your worth. Love reminiscing here, nostalgia, okay, wanting to reconnect, okay. But there is success here moving forwards, but it's going to be based on how much you're mastering your inner world as you come together, not allowing that to take the reins subconsciously, It's about being intentional now. Again, the Lovers. Gosh, that was the very first card, so there's something important about that inner union. So your connection moving forwards. You have to understand that you are both experiencing your own journey as well as you move forwards. And this isn't something that's by the rules. Okay, so it's not going to be something that everybody around you agrees on. That's another thing you're going to need to be mindful of. What's your truth? Like I said before, not everybody else's truth. Okay, this is about going within now, tending it to yourself. What's best for you? You care so much about what's best for everybody else maybe, but actually what's going to be best for your connection? Justice. Your connection moving forwards. Whoa. King of Coins. Oh my God, you got the King and Queen of Coins. Oh my God, 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Loving exchange. Wow. That's grounded. That is stable. That does have the capacity to create that 10 of Coins that was coming through before. The dependability, the loyalty, the values that are so strong, the loyalty that you are so aligned with, that you're in that power couple energy, but you're going to have to clear through the instability to get to that point. Okay, which again requires that transparency and handling this with care, sensitively, delicately. Your emotions are really prominent here. You've definitely got very sensitive energy. That's where you're gaining your strength though, that strength that keeps coming through, okay? So you might be focused on your finances right now, especially divine feminine. There might be something about that. That was coming through before, remember? There's a strong magnetic connection, okay? Clearly. Chemistry. Hearing something about, at school, maybe that was someone's favourite subject, chemistry. Calling each other in now, whether you realise it or not. There's prayers here. Somebody might be doing visualizations, affirmations, to stay positive and not keep telling yourself the same story in your own mind. 5-5, healing family issues, literally. I did say that. Engagement. So as you're healing whatever this is, and you're forgiving your parents, the connections, you know, that template that you learned from a young age that then fueled the repetitive unhealthy attachments. As you're healing through that, you're actually your love life is ascending to higher levels of commitment. You're creating that room, not just calling each other in, you're creating that room. Then you've got wedding. Engagement to a wedding. Like I said, things could progress faster than you realise, but to sustain that, to maintain that, there has to be intention there. Alignment, heart space. Okay. Just as I said that, heart-to-heart conversations. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. You know, it's not just your feelings about each other. It's about your journey so far, what that's meant for you, what you've learned, and what has come up for you. You know what's funny? This is a divine connection card for me. That's coming up multiple times. So if you're kind of wondering if this truly is that high level divine connection, it is. You very well might be on that twin flame journey as well. It would make sense. Love of lifetimes. Okay, very soon. Make the effort. Oh my God. Like I said, this might be quicker than you realise, you know. I mean, you've got some times here, but within the next 2 weeks, especially the 7 to 14 days, there's something about this. Okay, I'm just going to quickly get you one more card here, and then you will end the reading, okay? Anything else you need to be aware of? Ooh. Yeah, just remember to meditate, contemplate. Don't get all swept up and run with it, you know. Breathe, find your alignment. You're going to need to in this connection. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of emotion here. There's a lot of desire as well. So stay centered. Remember to come back to your inner knowing, you know, so you don't want to repeat that stuckness again, because that stuckness actually comes from within. Yeah. You're going to need, there's this need to address whatever it is that's happened so that you can't keep expecting it to happen again, the repetition of the past, you know. Adjustments are required. It's going to be brought down to both of you. Emotions are running high. Yes. Theme throughout the whole reading. A time for healing. It's showing you where there's healing that still needs to take place. Luck is on your side. It's actually really beautiful because you're mirroring to each other, whether you realise it or not. Okay. Take time to breathe out. There's so much of this. There's going to be so much emotion. You can just feel it. It's like, oh, emotional overwhelm. But this is where your centeredness, your balance that you're learning now in separation is going to help you. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So all that heaviness you've been carrying in your heart, and, you know, there's a reason this is happening right now. Okay. Truly. It's actually aligning you. That very first card, remember? Very first card that kept wanting to come through as well. Nothing is yet set in stone. That's the emotional energy that was coming through before. Because it's all about how you're choosing to align now. That's your decisions and actions you're choosing to make. Okay, a new start is coming. Get one more. Whoa. Confidence is your key to success. We've got Pisces, Leo, Capricorn on the table, okay? So confidence in yourself, confidence in your divine guidance, and actually in the connection, because you're not feeling this deep connection for nothing. Got this Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck, coming together with as emotional equals, you know, that's so important. Not allowing each other's triggers to suddenly guard you up, actually recognizing that you've got to this point now because you're understanding that subconscious energy within you, so you don't repeat that cycle. Okay, important to remember that. Beautiful energies. Okay, you've got this. Sending love.